of trying to, sympathize with people and letting people into my own stories of my own life. But here's Joe Biden on the precipice of somebody's children being burned alive and still missing today. Hey, by the way, I almost got my Corvette on fire and lost my cat.
I don't want to compare difficulties, but we have a little sense.
As soon as you say that, though, as soon as you say, I don't want to compare difficulties, that's where you should stop. You should just, something in your brain should say, you know what, that's my limit. That's where I got to cut myself off. I don't want to compare difficulties because I don't want to compare difficulties. Hey, I know that you went through the Holocaust, but at one time in my life, my mom sent me to my room, and I was in there for a few hours, and it was hell. I mean, I went through crisis after crisis, and I had to just overcome my situation because I couldn't control my environment. I couldn't control what was going on around me. My mom was in control of me, and she was acting very Nazi-like. It made me uncomfortable. I don't like that kind of stuff. But Joe Biden in his head says, you know what, push through it. Push through that moment. Push through it, and being president was Joe Biden's make-a-wish. It certainly feels like it. Push through in this moment. Don't just compare as many stories as you possibly can think of. And you know what? Talk about your Corvette, because you do love talking about how much you love driving that Corvette, baby.
Jill and I, what it's like to lose a home. Years ago, now 15 years ago, I was in Washington doing Meet the Press. It was a sunny Sunday. And lightning struck at home on a little lake. It's outside of our home, not a lake, a big pond. And
lightning struck on this huge pond of my mega mansion house that I own. I know exactly how you're feeling. Hey, by the way, I sent you $700. Freaking idiots. Just get used to that cash flow coming in. It's Daddy Biden here to make your life a living hell. Hey, I know exactly what it feels like. I was one of my 10 properties. I'm starting to feel bad for this guy. Don't feel bad for him. Embrace him. He's been laid. Look at him. He's been laid. He's feeling better than ever. He's having a great time in Maui. He's on vacation, talking about how hot the ground is. God damn, this ground's hot. I can't figure out why. I mean, look, out of his 8 properties, he lost one once, and he knows exactly what it feels like to lose your properties. He knows what it feels like. So shut up and listen. And if you say anything otherwise, I swear to God, get out of my chat. You're a white supremacist.
On a little lake, it's outside of our home, not a lake, a big pond, and hit a wire and came up underneath our home into the heating ducts, the air conditioning duct.
And at this point, is it a heating duct or is it an air conditioning duct? It doesn't matter. He'll have his pool boy look into it, and he'll get somebody with an LLC, pay him under the table. Everything's better than ever. Go.
Make a long story short.
That's like one of my favorite phrases.
Conditioning duct. Make a long story short.
I love when people do that. So the other day I was going around, I was wearing a blue shirt. I was also wearing pants as well. I also particularly wore underwear as well that day. I had some clean pair of socks on. I'm smelling pretty good. My glasses were just freshly cleaned. It was sunny outside, 72 degrees, not too bad, about 14 Celsius, which is about 57 degrees Fahrenheit. My belly was full. It was full of turkey that day, so I was feeling a little sleepy. But it was one of those days where your bowel movements were just working out well. A nice BM in the morning gets you feeling right, the crowd is feeling good. And I step into my Corvette, and I was out of gas. To make a long story short, I was out of gas the whole time. Back to you. To make a long story more confusing, exactly. He needs to stay in the White House and not leave until the end of his residency. He thinks he's still in the White House right now, Wes. He's like, I think he thinks he has like some AI headset on right now. And he's just like he's practicing his speeches. Hey, Joe, just go out there. You're in Maui. Just think about it. You're in Maui. You're having fun with your friends. You're talking. You're having a great time.
I almost lost my wife, my 67 Corvette, and my cat.
He almost lost his wife, Corvette, and cat. You know what? I lost my child. And I feel like you know what my pain feels like. Thank you for saying that, Joe Biden. It's wonderful that finally have a sympathizer in chief. It's incredible. I mean, the guy can't stop winning. Get this guy a microphone everywhere he goes. Sleep deprive him a little bit more. Don't let him get his afternoon naps. Don't give him his ice cream. And just let him go. It's Hawaii night at the White House. Yeah, exactly. Hey, it's me, Joe Biden, having a great time at Hawaii. I know just what it's like to lose your whole family in a fire. I almost lost my Corvette. Everyone shut up your mouth. He's doing a great job. My favorite is, where is it? Right here. Okay. And then right here. Then we have, I want a different reality. No, K-Bean, this is your reality. This is what we deserve. This is due to our sins. So this is an accumulation of our sins. The CERN devices really screwed things up for us. Okay, and then my favorite is watching CNN try to cope in these moments. And like of all the clips that are going around of Joe Biden in Hawaii, it just doesn't. There's nothing about him that goes, you know what? This guy's really on top of things. He's looking great. He seems to be like very with it there. Let's check in at Joe Biden in Maui.
President and Dr. Biden spent several hours both over Lahaina on the ground here and meeting with both first responders and victims of this tragedy.
Oh, God, I hate when people put on their storytelling voice. Joe Biden has spent several hours doing the hard work for the American people.
At the big shelter, the War Memorial Shelter in central Maui. And he said the right things in many cases. When he came to the microphone to give his statements, he's
like, I almost lost my Corvette. I know exactly what it's like when your child dies due to a fire. I know exactly. He's saying the right things. And again, you don't have to. Let's just use this one clip of Biden. We'll use this 2-second segment. It'll make him look.
Said the thing that a lot of folks I've been hearing from for 2 weeks have been saying, that he wants Maui, the people of Maui, to help determine how this place is rebuilt. There was a question as to who will have the most influence.
You know, we're not going to actually show a clip of him talking. We're going to blow right through it. I'm going to speak for Joe Biden on this one. He said wonderful things. He's looking out for the American people. He's sending $700 checks, and he said there's so much more to come. But daggum, this ground is hot, and he almost lost his Corvette. Okay, it's torn between elder abuse and karma. You mean Kamala? Thank you.
In that conversation going forward, locals here, working class Native Hawaiians and multi-generational locals are worried of disaster capitalism, people moving in to exploit this and buy up as much land as they can in this paradise.
Yeah, it's capitalism. It's not that the governor is giving away the land for parks in honor, you know, taking away land that you own at eminent domain. It's not that that's happening, okay? It's these evil white supremacist capitalists that are coming in and just buying up all this cheap land. Oh, God, I'm so sick of it. Capitalism.
Build it.
He said most of the right things, yeah.
For their interests as well, the president.
What did we do to deserve this karma? You see, keep saying karma. It's Kamala. We elected Donald Trump, okay? We elected Orange Man bad.
Says, promises that won't happen. It remains to be seen. There's a lot of forces at play here right now. He did serve as empathizer in chief after 5 days.
Joe Biden is empathizer in chief. Yes. My Corvette almost burned down. I almost lost my cat. I'm empathizing with you, but that's not what empathy is. That's actually sympathy. We don't know what words mean anymore. Thank God CNN's here to finally clear up the air on what Joe Biden was saying over Maui. Thank you. CNN finally doing the right reporting. Sympathizer in chief. We should be painting our roofs blue. Yes.
Won't happen. It remains to be seen.
Why do they bring capitalism into the picture? You know why. Because capitalism is evil, and we're trying to rein in a new era of communism. Things will be better than ever with Joe Biden in charge of our whole lives. I don't want freedom. I want to be told how to live. I want to be told what I'm allowed to buy. And based on my social credit score, how I can live. It's wonderful. I'm just happy to be alive. We're happy to be here together. You know, we should be so thankful that Joe Biden is going to be our king in chief.
There's a lot of forces at play here right now.
It's always about
he
him, yeah.
did serve as empathizer-in-chief after 5 days of being mostly silent on the issue publicly, but the governor said he was working behind the scenes to assure first responders that the feds had their back.
Wes says there's no such thing as capitalism in this country. Wes, there is, okay? I know the government is backing, companies that are too big to fail, and, people are being subsidized. Like, it's capitalism. Capitalism is what I was told in public education, so therefore I believe it. I don't question these things. I just believe things. Disaster capitalists like Oprah and Obama. Robin Ware, how dare you bring up Prince of Peace and you're getting a free car!
Back on this. He shared the stories we're familiar with of losing his daughter and wife and wondering if his sons had survived a car accident early in his political career. And that's what so many people here are going through now. The list of them.
Did he say anything for the people or deaths? Why does he need to? He doesn't need to talk about, you or your family dying. He wants to show you he cares by talking about his car. And he loves that Corvette. I mean, that's where he stores all his documents in there. He's a down-to-earth sympathizer-in-chief, and we should be so lucky to have a guy like that in office. I mean, I pray to God every day just thanking him that we have Joe Biden, and it's just like such a great day to be alive. Finally, we have a guy that'll get ice cream with your daughter and wear Ray-Ban sunglasses so that you don't know where his eyes are looking. That's the kind of guy I'm into. I love that kind of stuff. And, he knows smells. The guy knows smells. Do you think you could smell better than Joe Biden? Yeah, right. Is this what I have to deal with in my chats? Oh my God.
Missing, according to the
Valerie, stop being a precursor.
mayor of Maui, was whittled from over 2,000 by the FBI and authorities down to around 850 now. That still seems impossibly high this many days, almost 2 weeks now after the fire broke out. Forensic anthropologists, though, say historically scenes like this can take months or even years to sort out the missing. You can hope there's still some confusion as to who's on that list.
850 missing. How many Corvettes are missing, though? That's what I care about the most.
But the real heartbreak is to think about the children who were left home that day. There are parents in this town who lost their kids. There
Corvettes
are kids
missing.
who lost their parents. We're unclear if President Biden was able to meet with any of those.
Cats.
We know he did meet with Archie Kalepa, a historic figure here. Uncle Archie, as he's known, a Hall of Fame waterman who led a lot of the relief efforts from a sort of a cul-de-sac command post that we went into as well.
The Archie the Waterman, is that the guy that didn't allow people to have water? It's just one after another we're seeing, and it's love to see. He should auction off his Corvette and give the money to the people who lost everything. Well, then that will mean he would actually lose his Corvette, BCal. And I don't expect Joe Biden to actually have to lose his Corvette. He can talk about almost losing his Corvette, so he's his sympathizer-in-chief. Can you imagine? No, seriously, look at me. Look at me in the face. Seriously, bring it in. Bring it in, okay? I have to bring it in close, okay? Could you imagine? Is this close enough? I don't think it is. Let's get a little closer, okay? Could you freaking imagine losing your Corvette in a fire? That's worse than your child, okay? Don't bring that in this chat, okay? Don't bring that in this chat. Joe Biden's life story is much worse than yours, and he's going to always one-up you every single time. You could talk about the worst day of your life, and you'll go, oh, yeah, that reminds me of when I lost my bagel. And I couldn't find it anywhere, and it was over toasted, and it was a little slightly burnt. It was my birthday, and I had a burnt bagel on my birthday. Is this the kind of America you want to live in? Is this where you want to be when you grow up? Is this the kind of man you want to look in the mirror? Be a guy who lost his Corvette? No. All right, I gotta pull my face back down. Hold on. This Russian interference, plotting America's demise. Yeah, Biden was working behind the scenes doing what? Touching the ground, showing how hot it was. Is that bigger than your nose? You should pick that before you get that close. Is that booger in your nose? Oh, Wes, you son of a bitch. I don't have a booger in my nose. But you made me think about it for a second. Love the Hawaiian reception he got. Oh, yeah. Oh, why? Okay.
Well, some of those
Oh, I know. He was met with applause. And
who have been very active on social media were at the table, at least with President Biden, for the few hours he was here. But now
$700 per household.
eyes are on this
Think
place
about
to
it.
see.
Biden could have walked door to door and gave him the $700. That's what a president does. It's just wonderful to see. Again, on the precipice of your child being burned alive, Joe Biden has the audacity to talk about his fucking Corvette.
Want to.
It's just like, it's so dark. It is. You have to be such an effing idiot to be like, oh, your kid just died? By the way, I went to McDonald's and they got my order wrong. So I know exactly what that feels like. Oh my God. Can you imagine being that narcissistic? Can you imagine? God, it's so ridiculous that it breaks my brain that someone could be this dumb and this insane. Just be like, yeah, your whole life's all upended. You got your $700, so you should be thanking me. Okay, thank me for the fires. I know we didn't, that we didn't have a appropriate response, and we didn't sound off the alarm when things were happening. We didn't hand out waters or emergency supplies that well and stuff like that. But you got your $700, and let me talk to you about my Corvette. Sit down, kids. Talking about how people used to rub my legs because they were hairy. Talking about corn pop. This is the America we live in today. This is how insane we are that we have a president his handlers can't even handle him. Didn't mean to show